Hi friends, and welcome to my channel. My name is Tanner and this is my Esoterica. Today we have a timeless message here from Spirit for the collective, and whoever this message is for, I feel like this is about a love connection. Could be twin flames, or some sort of higher level soul connection here, but you guys are in separation right now. It says here, a relationship or phase of life is coming to an end. Though painful, this separation opens the door to new beginnings. And clarifying the separation was health. So I feel like Spirit is saying that this separation that's happening right now is for your highest good, ultimately, like it is for your health. If you resonate with being a divine feminine, then often, we find ourselves in dynamics where we are the overgiver. You could be anxiously attached or just feel like you have to prove your value and your worth to people, especially if, as a result of the energy that you're giving to somebody, they start pulling away. Very common in twin flame dynamics or like anxious attached, avoidantly attached dynamics. But I think Spirit, again, is saying that the separation was ultimately for your highest good. It was for your health. Because now you have, okay, so first, the second card that came out was intimacy, and it was clarified by goals. So I feel like, yes, you have experienced this intimacy with this other person, but it's taught you like what you can accept or what you're willing to accept in relationships and what you're not willing to accept anymore. I feel like, obviously, like you have the goal of being intimate with this person, but I feel like what this is saying in a grander sense, because obviously if you're in separation, especially if it's kind of fresh separation, there's this feeling of longing and this sense of longing. But I feel like Spirit is saying that like now you have a clearer perspective, you have clearer goals on what you want out of your intimate relationships, especially if this person was showing up really inconsistently, like very Knight of Wands style, like in and out, hot and cold kind of vibes. That can be really draining on a person after a while. And eventually it's for your highest good, it's for your health that you kind of, or Spirit, however it happened, this separation occurred, and it's given you the time and space to sort of like clarify what it is that you really want out of your intimate relationships with others. And if you weren't getting that in this connection, the way it's been unfolding so far, then it's for your highest good, it's for your health, that either you pulled your energy back or this person pulled their energy back, or Spirit just inserted a tower moment into the situation in order to help you clarify what you want for yourself when it comes to how you show up and how other people show up for you in relationships. Because you have, again, an idea of what you want or what you need from others in an intimate relationship. And if this person wasn't giving it to you, because we're skipping an oracle card right now, but we will come back to it. But the last one, the fourth one that I pulled just for the message, was challenges. And it came out crossing, which means to me as a reader that this is energy that you are consciously grappling with right now. So you are dealing with challenges when it comes to your intimate relationships. So as a result of that, that could be the separation in and of itself, or it could just be, what does it say here? Challenges feel overwhelming and you may be struggling to find effective solutions, leading to frustration and confusion. So yeah, I feel like you've kind of been running into a brick wall when it comes to this connection, when it comes to how this person has been showing up. But you know what you want from an intimate relationship, and you know that this person just isn't really providing that for you. So I feel like you're starting to have clarity about this too. But what's also cool, and this is the oracle card that I skipped, but this is breakthrough. So this, I feel like this is a big breakthrough moment for you. I'm getting the sense of divine feminine just because separation and, you know, getting clarity on your relationship dynamics and breakthrough moments and all of that stuff is very twin flame coded. And I also feel like I am a twin flame, so I've been through this sort of stuff a lot. So it makes sense that spirit would be like, okay, well, these are the messages that you're most equipped to deliver, right? But I feel like, you know, this has been a learning experience for you. If you couldn't see it while you were in it, I feel like you are starting to have clarity on it now. And it's leading through a big breakthrough moment in terms of like your leadership potential. Here it says, you are stepping into a leadership role, inspiring others and guiding your team towards success with confidence and clarity. So I feel like, you know, all of this sort of relationship gunk, these challenges that you've been going through, like, have also been inspiring you to take action in your own life. And yeah, now you're stepping into, now you're kind of stepping into the masculine role. And I'm not talking about gender. I'm talking about, and I'm just going to say this every time I bring this up, it's about energy. It's not about bodies, because we're all spiritual beings having a human experience, not the other way around. So I feel like you're finally stepping into your masculine energy and having stronger boundaries for yourself, and also, you know, moving the needle for yourself and where you want to go in your own life. So despite all of the challenges around this separation, you know, just know that it was for your highest good, ultimately, for your health. It's given you a clearer understanding of what you will and won't accept when it comes to your intimate relationships and how you want and need people to show up for you. Is it challenging? Yes, of course it is. I mean, I feel like this is just the energy in general. You're dealing with challenges when it comes to your intimate relationships. The challenge is probably the separation, right? But again, it is leading you to your highest good ultimately, and there is a breakthrough moment. If you haven't had it yet, it's on the horizon for you. And this breakthrough moment is going to involve you stepping into your emperor energy, your again, your divine masculine energy. It's giving strong mission work. If you are a twin flame, if you do resonate with that, the goal for the divine feminine eventually is to start working on your mission. Now, your mission could be anything, but it's really what sets your soul on fire. What makes you feel like you're losing time? For me, that's tarot videos. For you, that might be writing, that might be singing, it might be something artistic, it might be working with technology, it might be freaking surfing. I don't know. You will know when you find it. And when you do, and when you step into it, and assume a leadership role in that, that is what ultimately leads you to your highest timeline, and, you know, the abundance and the success and all of that. So, you know, for all of these challenges, these relationship challenges, again, they're for your highest good, and you finally getting to a point where you are realizing that you need someone to show up for you in a consistent way, in a way that proves to you that they know your worth and your value. You know, again, if you're in it, it's hard to see it because you just get so wrapped up in the feeling. But when you take a step back, I mean, and of course, like our friends and our loved ones and the people who care about us, who are around us when they're watching us take part in these dynamics, they are the ones telling us that, like, you deserve better, like, don't give your person this energy, all this stuff, right? And to an extent, they are right. But, you know, I'm on the fence with these things, not about, you know, your person needing to treat you with respect, because that's a given. But when you are involved in these really deep soul contracts, like, they are kind of all consuming and all encompassing. And it's hard when you know, like, you see this person's highest potential, right? And you kind of, 1111, I just saw it. I saw some other angel numbers too, but I'm trying not to be one of those readers. Or at least not so much. 1122. Anyway, it's like you see their highest potential, but you can't fall in love with potential. I mean, you can if you really want to, but is that going to be for your highest good? I don't think so. But these soul contracts, these ties, these dynamics are meant to be a mirror for you to, and us, you know, for all of us. A mirror to show us where we're still hurting, in conscious and in a lot of times unconscious ways too. But again, I feel like through these challenges, like, you are finally getting to a point where you are stepping into your own power as a divine feminine, or just as a person if you do not resonate with the divine feminine label. But I feel like the separation was necessary in order for you to find your own power, if that makes sense. I'm looking at the bottom of the oracle deck. Yeah, and I feel like you're filled, you know, you have the courage to make this leap, is what I'm getting. Like, I feel like for a while you may have been kind of stuck in this connection, in this situation. You may have logically understood that this person wasn't quite showing up in the way that you needed, but you could have still been letting your feelings kind of cloud your judgment. And now I feel like you're kind of breaking through that, you're taking off those rose-colored glasses and you're seeing the truth of the situation. And it doesn't mean you don't still care for this person, but it does mean that now you're standing in your power and you know what you deserve. And if this person isn't able to give that to you now, or, you know, maybe ever, then it's time for you to step into that role for yourself and become the person for yourself that you were looking for outside of yourself, if that makes sense. But I feel like you are doing it. You're having the courage to, you know, step out of your own comfort zone, which could be overgiving, which could be trying to prove your worth. All of these unconscious dynamics that we learn as children. And now you're having the courage to break out of that cycle. And yeah, step into the leadership role of your own life. So yeah, that's sort of the situation that this reading is going to be about. Today I'm going to be using the Magic Maker's Tarot by Paulina Faye, I believe is her name. I have the box over here somewhere. I'm going to grab the box just in case people are curious. Yes, Paulina Faye. But yeah, the Magic Maker's Tarot. Very cool. I have another one of her decks as well that I'll use in a different reading. But let's go ahead and look at what is at the heart of this situation. I've already shuffled this deck until Spirit tells me to stop. That's how I do my thing. Airplane, Ascension. But let's see what's at the heart of the situation. Ooh, at the bottom of the deck, I was like, let's see what's in the middle, and then I just go immediately to the bottom. So at the bottom of the deck, we have the High Priestess, divine feminine energy. Hello. But this is somebody who is very awake, someone who's very in tune, someone who's very connected to their intuition, to spirit, somebody who may be a little bit guarded right now, holding their cards close to their chest, and not, you know, I'm getting like poker face. Like, even if you are going through the ringer right now when it comes to this connection, you are staying composed. So good on you. All right, now we'll look at the heart of the situation. So what do we have, Spirit, at the heart of the situation? We have the Page of Swords. So this is somebody who is trying to kind of like figure out their next steps. Somebody who is very, you know, logically minded. That this page is not one to kind of get lost in their emotions like the Page of Cups. The Page of Swords is very, I want to say, just looking at this imagery, like this page, there's a lot of growth around this page. And it's interesting, this page to me looks like a feminine. This is a very like fairy magic kind of deck vibe, but I get really interesting intuitive hits off of this. So I feel like right now you really are focused on your own growth. And the sword, the way they're holding this sword makes me think of boundaries for sure. But, you know, in the planning stages of trying to make your next move, whatever that move may be. Ooh, and then we have the Magician right underneath it. So yeah, you're definitely stepping into your power, into your leadership here with the Magician. Maybe with the Page and the Magician here, you're trying to figure out exactly like what the right steps would be to take. But you're figuring it out. Now I want to look and see what's under the High Priestess on the other side. Temperance. So yeah, finding balance within yourself again. Transmuting all of that pain that you've felt through the separation into power, into enlightenment. And then the Ten of Swords was underneath Temperance. So yeah, this is coming after feeling like you've hit rock bottom in a way, feeling like you've been backstabbed. But what's great about the Ten of Swords is that whatever ended was actually a blessing in disguise. That's kind of the imagery you get on the traditional Rider-Waite. I do see that, obviously, you know, this has made you sad, and why wouldn't it? But you're not staying stuck in that energy. Tens are the ends of cycles. So you are kind of breaking free from this loop and using, again, all that pain to transmute it into something powerful, into your own power with the Magician there. So cool. Thanks, Spirit. Let's do a couple more cuts and we'll see what else we have for the heart of the situation. Do a little zhuzh. Spirit told me to stop. So let's look. What else do we have, Spirit, for the heart of the situation for our viewer? Page of Pentacles on this side. So yeah, very much focused. That's 2 pages, right? So definitely in like a figuring out what to do next kind of vibe. Pages are all about sort of planning, whereas the Knights are all about action. So I feel like maybe you have a creative idea or or just some sort of idea for your career. And you're like in the learning phases of that right now, because you see it as like an opportunity to invest in something stable for yourself. But with the Nine of Swords here, I feel like you are still dealing with like mental stress, like feelings of anxiety and like things that keep you up at night. What's underneath the Nine of Swords? The Empress. So this makes me think again of like trying to stay in your power, like the poker face. Because we got the High Priestess before, and now there's the Empress. So this is strong, strong divine feminine energy. And if you are feeling anxious, again, I don't think you're letting it show. I feel like you are very much focused on, I don't chase, I attract. With that intimacy and the goals card that we saw earlier, like you are learning your worth. And what's underneath that? And the star, and you're healing. Beautiful. So yeah, you do know your worth. You are standing in your power. This Empress is surrounded by what looks like peacocks to me. And peacocks in the animal spirit deck that I have is like an advanced acceptance of self and others. And the peacock also says that it's a person who can digest sort of any type of situation. So even if this situation was really difficult for you, I feel like you are still integrating it. Like it didn't stop you from learning the lessons still. And then I'm going to check and see what's underneath the Page of Pentacles on this side of the deck. The Eight of Cups. So yeah, like you're walking away from this situation as it is right now. And the Tower, after a Tower moment, after some sort of big shakeup, something that shifted your perspective. Yeah, and this dragon here in the animal spirit deck, the dragons are about having an ego death. So I feel like this Tower moment, again, kind of collapsed the ego part of you that was reaching and trying to make this situation, this connection work. Nothing can work that's just one-sided, right? Any relationship that is going to find success has to be invested in on both sides of the situation. It can't all just be you trying to give your love and your attention and your affection to this person, hoping it will change them. It won't, sadly. The only person who can change is the person themselves. So yeah, you're staying in your divine feminine power. I do not chase, I attract. And I feel like that maybe is one of the lessons that you learned from the situation. And that's not saying that, like, you know, you just sit there and let the other person do all the work. But it's knowing your worth and knowing that if you are investing your time and energy into a situation, then somebody else, that other person should be matching your effort. You should not be overextending yourself. I saw the Nine of Wands on the bottom right before I started shuffling again. So that was, that's energy of the wounded warrior. Somebody who has come a long way, but it's beaten and bruised them to heck. So you may still be just a little bit kind of on guard now when it comes to who you let in your energy. But that's discernment, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Okay, I'm gonna do one more heart of the situation, and then we'll pull some cards for you. Zhuzhum. That's the jolt. Let me see. And then if I try to shuffle it again, Spirit's like I just feel it in my hand, in my arm. It's like, don't do it. It's very interesting. But yeah, all right, let's look at one more time. What is at the heart of this situation, Spirit? We have the Nine of Cups on the bottom, so a lot of nines. We saw the Nine of Swords, the Nine of Wands. I was like, which one did I just talk about? And now we have the Nine of Cups. So 9 is Hermit energy, and so I feel like you're very much like in reflection right now. Very much have withdrawn your energy. But this is focusing on your own, my goodness, this glare, on your own emotional wellness, like your wish fulfillment. That's what the Nine of Cups is about, wish fulfillment. So I feel like you really are in reflection about how much energy you've given to the situation and what you actually need. Again, goals for intimacy, like what you need to feel emotionally fulfilled in romantic situations. But let's keep looking at this one in particular. All right, one more Heart of the Cards moment, please, Spirit, for our collective. So interesting, we have the Three of Cups here. So you could be trying to spend time with like-minded people, just to like get your energy right, get your vibes right. And then the Eight of Cups is underneath that. Three of Cups is also about having a good time, right? Threes are about expansion and growth and positive feelings. But underneath that, we have the Eight of Cups, like walking away from something. So I feel like, you know, even if this connection gave you a lot of like good, happy feelings, like it still wasn't fulfilling for you because it was so inconsistent, is what I'm getting. And so you knew, again, it was for your highest good. It was for your health to walk away from this person instead of continuing to give your energy to it. Even if you had good times and good memories and good vibes with this person. It's not enough if they're showing up inconsistently. It's not. All right, Spirit. Now we're going to get into tarot. So let's go ahead and look at the situation. We have been looking at it, but we're going to look more closely. So what do we have for the situation, Spirit? Do one more bridge shuffle so you guys can see I am shuffling. All right, Spirit. On the bottom, we have the Two of Swords, so needing to make a decision about something. What do we have for the situation, please, Spirit, for our beautiful viewer, for our collective? What do we have for this situation that we are discussing? A very specific card wants to come out, and so it did. And look at that. The Two of Cups came out in reverse. It's what we've been talking about this whole time, right? This is about a love connection that has been unequal, where there hasn't been equal give and take. It's been one-sided. That's what we were talking about. So this is about a love connection that was one-sided, and it was one-sided from your side. And now you're trying to like go within with the Two of Swords. I'm thinking of the Rider-Waite where she has the blindfold on her. That's a sign to go within, which I feel like you've been doing, again, with that nine energy, that nine energy, that hermit energy. But that's the advice of the Two of Swords anyway, is to go within. So what else do we have for the situation, please, Spirit? We have the Two of Cups in reverse. What else do we have for the situation? For our collective. Four of Wands. Finding stability again. But I also feel like this is this was somebody that you saw marriage potential with. That's another meaning of the Four of Wands. So you saw forever with this person. You wanted to like go the distance with them, but you started to realize that things were unequal and uneven, that you were the one doing all the work. And you can't build a stable foundation with just one wand. You need to bring two, and the other person needs to bring two, and then together you can build something stable. With the Knight of Wands, there could have been a lot of passion in this connection, but you could have also been dealing with a runner, somebody who was emotionally avoidant, or when you got too close, they got scared, and so they pulled back instead of leaning in, which is, to be fair, a reflection of their own inner woundings and an inner child hullabaloo, which we all have. But that's not an excuse. Just because this person is also hurting, it's not an excuse for their behavior to continue to hurt you. And if, well, you know, I said it, but if you were continuing to give to this situation and not seeing any change, eventually spirit is going to come in, the universe, God, however you want to relate to it, is going to come in and is going to insert a tower moment so things can fall apart in order for something new and stronger to be built. But yeah, let's see what else we have for the situation that we're talking about. For the collective spirit, what else do we have? Three of Swords. Wow. So yeah, heartbreak. I'm just like, the synchronicities in this reading. Yeah, whoever this person was, whatever the situation was, it caused you a lot of emotional pain. Heartbreak. But I am seeing, if you look closely, you can see that through this person's heart, like flowers are growing. So I feel like it's emotional pain that has led to growth, emotional growth for you. It could also, I'm getting like heart chakra opening. So you could have experienced a heart chakra opening. But yeah, this is emotional pain that has led to your own growth here. But yeah, this is about a one-sided relationship where you saw forever potential, and it led to nothing but heartbreak and pain, emotional pain. All right. Let's look at your energy. What is our viewers' energy towards this connection right now, Spirit? What is our viewers' energy towards this connection? Our viewers' energy toward this connection right now, Spirit. King of Cups in reverse. So I feel like you feel like the person that you were connected to was somebody who was not very in touch with their emotions. They could have been, like I was saying before, emotionally avoidant. They could have been someone who was emotionally manipulative, or you saw them or perceived them that way. King of Cups in reverse. Yeah, King of Cups upright. I feel like you love this person a lot. The King of Cups is the highest form of love that there is in the tarot. But yeah, in the reverse, like if the King of Cups upright is intuitive, in touch with his emotions, like balanced with his head and his heart, emotionally freely giving of himself to others, then in the reverse, this is sort of talking about the opposite. Somebody who is not in touch with their emotions, who is not able to give of themselves, of their heart freely, an imbalance of head and heart, all that sort of stuff. So I feel like, you know, that's how you're perceiving your person. Like, they're an emotionally manipulative son of a gun. And death was underneath it. So I feel like you're thinking that if this dynamic were to continue in any sort of way, you would have to see major change and growth, and like a complete ending of the way this connection has shown up, or this person has shown up in this connection so far. And a completely new version of this person would have to come through in order for things to move forward. If you're even entertaining the thought of reconciliation with this person at some point. All right, Spirit, what else do we have for our person's energy when it comes to this connection that we are channeling? One more zhuzh. All right. Our viewer's energy still, please, Spirit. Our viewer's energy. Guys, we'll see it. Our viewer's energy. 7 of Pentacles. Wondering about what you invest your time into. This makes me think of that goals and intimacy thing that we saw earlier too. Like, yeah, you're thinking about what you invest your time into and what gives back to you. 7 of Pentacles is all about long-term investment. So you could have spent a lot of time investing your energy into this connection without seeing, again, the return from this other person with the 2 of Cups in reverse. But now I feel like, again, with the 7 of Pentacles, like you are investing in your own long-term success. Like, you're pulling your energy back from this situation and you are starting to invest in your own long-term goals. And the world underneath, yeah, because you've learned a lesson. This is a unicorn. Again, in that other deck, this is about awakening to divinity, like third eye opening. But yeah, you completed a cycle here by stepping out of it, by stepping out of the dynamic. Let's get one more for our viewer's energy, please, Spirit. One more for our viewer's energy toward this connection. One more for our viewer's energy, please, Spirit. That one fell onto the ground and it came out crossing. The 6 of Swords, crossing. So yeah, you are trying to figure out how to move forward. You're trying to figure out how to move into calmer waters. And like releasing your baggage. You're trying to figure that out. And the 10 of Pentacles, yeah, investing again in your own long-term success. That's what I was just saying. So yeah, definitely focus on your own long-term success and what you want to cultivate for your own future and what you want to leave behind for, you know, the people who come after you. And then we have the 10 of Wands underneath it. So yeah, I feel like you are still kind of feeling burdened by the situation. But this is, we've seen 3 10s now and the World. So yeah, you are completely ending this cycle. You are stepping out of it. And again, investing all that time and energy that you were investing into giving to this connection back into yourself and into what you want to see grow for yourself. You're investing like that Ace of Pentacles. And again, I saw a breakthrough. So we saw a breakthrough. So I feel like whatever you're investing your time and energy into, it's gonna pay off for you in the end. Let's I'm curious to see how your person's feeling. What is our viewer's person's energy right now when it comes to this connection? Our viewer's person's energy, please, Spirit, when it comes to this connection. Our viewer's person's energy, Spirit. What are they feeling right now towards this connection? Yeet. This fell out. It looks like it's mostly in reverse. Seven of Cups in reverse. So I feel like they're starting to have clarity about how they showed up in this situation. There could have been, and the Ten of Swords underneath. So they're hitting rock bottom too. And I feel like they're starting to have clarity about how they showed up in this connection or not. But yeah, so a little bit of mirroring here, because you have the Ten of Swords and they have the Ten of Swords too. So you're both feeling this separation is what I'm getting. But they're starting to have clarity. Maybe they made you feel like an option in the past before. What is happening here? Why is my deck like this? Sorry, friends, technical difficulties. Okay, yeah, half my cards ended up weird ways. And I don't know how that happened, but okay, we're back in business. All right, let's get one more for our viewer's person's energy. So yeah, they're hitting rock bottom, but they're starting to have clarity. Again, I'm getting like about how they showed up or how they didn't show up in this connection. What else do we have for our viewer's person's energy, Spirit? Four of Pentacles. They don't want to let you go. I think they're still holding on to you, and they're still holding on to this connection. And it's hilarious that, you know, if this is a twin flame journey, like the more you kind of detach from the situation, the more that your counterpart kind of feels drawn to you. Ironic, right? Well, you have the Fool underneath here. So I feel like this person does want to have a new beginning with you too. Whether you want to give this person another chance, like that is up to you. Four of Swords, but they want to have another chance with you, but right now they're kind of withdrawn. They've kind of pulled their energy back. One more for our viewer's person's energy, please, Spirit. The Moon just came out as I was zhuzhing them around. So Divine Feminine energy. I feel like they feel like you are, I don't know if they know what that means necessarily, but they see you as somebody who is kind and nurturing and giving of their time and energy. But with the Moon here, there's also a lot of fear and could be some confusion as well. But yeah, maybe because they know they messed up. I feel like they do know they messed up because, again, they're having this clarity with the Seven of Cups in reverse. And they are still kind of holding on to you in this connection. They don't want to let it go. So yeah, that's kind of how your person is feeling. Still attached to you, having clarity around how they were not a good partner in love. And maybe, again, seeing you as a divine feminine, but like confused, I feel like, about how to approach you or if they even should. Because again, you're focusing on moving forward. I just saw 44 on the timer too, and that Four of Wands. All right, so what should our viewer focus on, Spirit? What should our viewer focus on right now? What should our viewer focus on right now? What should our viewer focus on right now, Spirit? That came out crossing too. 4433, I just saw it. Justice. Crossing. So justice is all about righting wrongs and bringing balance to a connection, when it's what you should focus on, it's like you should focus on how you can make things right for yourself. And it might not involve this other person. You might have to find justice for yourself in whatever way that may look. Cutting this person off could be one thing. Living your best life, you know, having good times with friends, investing in your own business, or things of that nature. Like, how can you make this fair for yourself? How can you release this if this person never comes back or never shows up in the way that you want and need them to? How can you bring balance to the situation for yourself? Spirit is saying that is what you should focus on right now. How can you bring balance to the situation for yourself? Four of Swords is also, again, we just saw it for your person, we're seeing it for you. So more mirroring energy in that sense, but like, you should focus on pulling your energy back and recovering and recuperating, and maybe, you know, meditate, get into meditation, or if you aren't already. But yeah, just pull back your energy and protect it some. And then we're gonna get a final piece of advice, and then we'll end the reading there. So thank you, Spirit. What is a final card of advice for our viewer? Final card of advice, please, for our viewer. Piece of advice for our viewer. Piece of advice for our viewer. Very specific card wants to come out. And there it is. Where was it? What is it? The Eight of Swords in reverse is your advice. Free yourself from this mental prison that you have sort of trapped yourself in. Because you have the power and the capability to set yourself free, to bring justice and balance to the situation for yourself. Like Spirit's saying, you have that power to do it. The Eight of Swords upright is all about feeling mentally trapped, like you can't make a move or make a decision. But in the traditional Rider-Waite, like she's surrounded by swords and she has a blindfold on, but there's a gap in the swords that's just big enough for her to squeeze out if she would just take off that blindfold and look. So your blindfold is off. You are seeing the situation clearly. Don't keep yourself trapped in this situation, in this dynamic, because you have the power to set yourself free, is your advice from Spirit. All right, so that was quite a powerful one, if I do say so myself. But anyway, I'm gonna leave it here, my friends. I'm sending you so much love and light. You have all the strength and all the power and everything that you need to be the fullest, most beautiful, most authentic version of yourself. And you don't need this person to show up in order for you to be that. You just need to take all that energy again and focus it back into loving yourself, not loving someone else. Confirmation from my pee-pee, my little kitty. But anyway, yeah, I'm sending you so much love. I'm sending you a lot of light, so much strength, and a big hug. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one, okay, friends? Piper said bye too. All right, take care.